everybody, we are ready to start with Simone and Giovanni's keynote. Simone and Giovanni are members of the digital transformation team led by Diego Piacentini. Simone is the CTO and Giovanni is the communities manager. As most of you will know, the aim of the team is very ambitious. Improve innovation in our country, bring innovation in existing projects or creating new ones. One of the new projects is the portal Developers.italia.it. So help me to welcome Simone and Giovanni to the Codemotion conference.
Thanks, and good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, presenting in front of you this ambitious project. And it is also an honor and a privilege to be here together with Giovanni, speaking on behalf of the Italian government. And you may be thinking now, hey, is this really true? Is this really the government speaking in a developer event like this, in a keynote? Because, I can understand if you are puzzled. This is not very common, right? It's like this. Strange animal so far. We are not happy about this, so we want to change things. But it's true. So far, the government has not been, not just in Italy, also abroad, not very present in developer events. And now this is happening this morning. And so me and Giovanni are part of this digital transformation team. What is this team? Basically, after some previous work done by an Italian successful innovator and entrepreneur named Paolo Barberis within the government decided to appoint Diego Piacentini, a former top exec from Amazon, as commissioner for the digital transformation of the Italian public administration. And Diego, as a first move, decided to build a team from scratch, to hire a team of strong technical people. Now, to do what? Why Diego decided he needed a team? The vision that we have is that we want to build the operating system of the country. And in our mind, what does it mean, the operating system of the country? It means a set of building blocks, technical building blocks, that can enable the development of digital services for the citizens to simplify their life, basically. We want to do this with a clear direction. We have some technological principle that we want to follow. You can find the full list on our website, teamdigitale.governo.it. This is just a sample, just to give you an idea of what we are thinking. We are thinking about security in connection with simplification of the user experience. That is a tricky thing, but we need is the point of the exercise. And to all the modern ways of building online digital services. So mobile first, with big data, machine learning, open source. Keywords that are quite standard in the community of digital companies. Keywords that, unfortunately, are not so common in the public administration. Again, not just in Italy, also abroad. And this is a clear change of mind that we want to create. Now, in order to do this, as I said, Diego decided that we needed a team with strong technical people, with strong skills. This is the kind of skills that were looked for in the hiring call to create this team. It's kind of skills that are not so easy to hire because they are in high demand. The people like you with these skills work mostly in the private sector, and maybe when you receive requests from the public administration for a position there, you react like this. Right? it's a scary move to move from the private sector to the public one and work for the government, because, again, so far the government was not very connected to developers and the digital world in general. However, what happened is that the hiring call that was published last October received 3,500 and more applications, and so great success. And we were able to hire 20 people, mostly coming from the private sector. And you can see us, me and Giovanni and the other guys with the same shirt this morning. Most of us are here. You can meet us. We have a meeting point just outside the room. So later you can come and talk to us. And we also have people who were expatriates abroad in the States working for big multinationals and came back just to work for us for this exercise. So incredible success. And yeah, this is the team. We have the privilege to every now and then work in rooms like this. That is amazing. Okay, this is like being in a Harry Potter movie or something. And because we work sometimes in rooms like this, we have to wear jackets, it happens. Even if underwear, we also have our obligatory nerdy T-shirt, like this morning. But yeah, don't be too envy about the place. The place is amazing, but usually we work in a place like this, okay? And more common, basic furniture, very crowded. Okay, we are inside the Palazzo Chigi, that is the headquarters of the government, in a very little space. Okay, so we have a team. Now we have a team, so we can work on projects. Which kind of projects? We decided to select few existing projects that we decided were strategical. They are all infrastructural components that can enable other services. Here we have 3 of them. They were pre-existing. So already, by pre-existing, I mean they were already in the production phase. However, especially the first was not in a very good shape. ANPR, that in Italian is Anagrafe Nazionale Popolazione Residente, is the national registry of the resident population. And the purpose of this project is to merge into one national database what so far was, due to the legacy, spread in 8,000 separate databases. Because in the legacy, every municipality, every small town in Italy had their own database, probably under the stairs, okay, or under the desk, something like that. And this makes transformation very difficult, because this is a cornerstone of everything else. You have to look up people identities in this database to make other things. So we have to accelerate a lot the adoption of this. And currently, only 2 out of 8,000 municipalities are there. So a lot of work to do. We want to accelerate this. 2 other big components are SPID, that is for to identify people online with a button that you can use, same button with same login credentials everywhere in the public administration. And PagoPA, that is a system you can use to pay whatever you have to pay to the public administration, taxes, fines, whatever, through the same flow, selecting among different payment providers and payment methods digitally. They are in a better shape, definitely better shape than ANPR. SPID already assigned more than 1 million identities to people, and is adopted already by hundreds of services, so you can use it already. And PagoPA also has been adopted by a lot of services of the public administration, and you can use it. However, for both of them, we want to improve a lot the user experience and extend them and make them even more powerful. And also, we introduced new ideas. So we started new projects on our initiative. One is for data analytics framework based on big data technology. We want to collect data from different public administrations that so far worked completely in silos and make possible correlations among different databases, create analytics, dashboards, machine learning, mathematical models, predictions, and so on. We want to work on security with a responsible disclosure program, leveraging ethical hackers to find bugs, security bugs in the services of the public administration. And then there is a third project that is community, and we will talk about this later. And this is just an initial list of projects, something that is already in the operational phase, but we have more in our minds. These 3 more, we want to make all the services of the public administration available through APIs. We want to create a digital citizenship context where you can receive notifications related to you on your smartphone for whatever you need to know from the public administration instead of through snail mail. We want to create design guidelines to make the look and feel of the websites of the public administration coherent and the same through and high quality also through all the services of the public administration and so on. A lot of projects, okay? A lot of projects, big projects, and also we have to play in a playing field that is like this, okay? Because working in the private sector has more complexities than you might imagine. If you always worked in the private sector, there are procedures, you have to follow constraints, you need authorizations, you need to go to the Garante della Privacy, that is the privacy regulator, and so on. A lot of things you have to, check marks you have to go through. And sometimes it's frustrating for us, because we come from the private sector, we are not used to it, but we have the energy to go through it. And even if sometimes the discussions we have are not easy, and Giovanni maybe can get frustrated and become like this, okay? This is Giovanni like some of the meetings. We are committed to do it. Now, the point is 20 people, we are 20 people. 20 people are nothing to accomplish all of this, right? So we need a way to scale up the work we are doing, and we need help. In the public administration, there are already a lot of, we found them every day. We find them. There are a lot of brilliant people with technical capabilities. However, they are spread in many different agencies and entities of the public administration. They are not interconnected. They lack common direction. And also, there are a lot of brilliant people outside in the private sector, maybe, who might want to help us. So we are thinking a way to leverage on this. And create something like this, like an army who can help us. So Giovanni, how can we do this? This is a challenge, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's a challenge because it's complicated, because the public administration is completely closed. There are some rules and regulations about open source and like preferring open source sourcing, but they kind of not work basically. So if you try to find like the source code of like a website or whatever, you won't probably find anything, and it's really complicated to find open source libraries about existing technologies. It's really a complicated field. And it shouldn't be like this, right? Because we are developers, and we know that basically technologies shouldn't be hard. And when we, like a developer, I'm coming from the private sector, so I know that when I face a technology, like I need to integrate something, I can find what I need to do the integration. Examples, I go to Stack Overflow, I go to like GitHub and download like examples, or whatever. Like if you're all developers in this room, we know how we do work daily, right? So it doesn't work like this in the public administration. So just before showing what we are trying to do to solve this, I want to like make clear the problem that we have. So I'm making just an example for you. If you haven't, like citing this example, SPID. SPID is what Simone was mentioning before. It's actually an amazing technology, and it's something that basically only a few countries in the world have attempted to make. It's basically a way for the citizen to be certified. So you go to be certified once. you get a username and password, and then two-factor authentication, blah, blah, blah. And then with this single credential, you can access like public services. And when you log in, your identity is trusted. So there is like a framework regulation being, legal regulation being also built so that this identification has a legal effect for what you want to achieve with the public administration, right? So it's a single identity. And this is also in the process of being regulated for the private sector, right? So think, for instance, a bank. When you open a bank account, what you need to do, you need to provide your a scan of your ID, and you need to make a wire transfer from another bank account, blah, blah. And the goal of this regulation to make sure is that Giovanni Bajo is opening that bank account at that bank. So this is the kind of thing that can really completely change the play field, because technically, like I could log in once with this on the new bank and get a blank new bank account right away, because my identity has already been certified by the government. So this is like a change in the Playgorund. So it's a really amazing technology, right? So, and if you just look at it, it's just a button, right? Login with SPID. So you say, well, I'm a developer. I already saw this, right? I mean, it's, okay, they don't certify your identity, but technically, if I just want to put the button on my website, it shouldn't be that different, right? Shouldn't be. Yeah. And so if you like set to see how it works, like, well, let me try to put the button on my website and see if it works for me. How do I do? Like, yeah, when I want to integrate login with Google, I go here. This is developers.google.com, and I just click on, I don't know, maps or web, and I go there and find technical documentation. I find SDK for all the main programming languages. I find examples. I find the Playgorund where I can like generate my API key and try it with the existing code. I find like curl snippets that I can copy to my console and try the API call, right? So it's kind of easy, and the same, of course, with Facebook, if I want to integrate login with Facebook. I mean, what's the point? These companies have a business upon this, right? So they can say, I want the barrier to integrate login with Facebook to be as low as possible, right? Because I'm building my business on it. So I'm really spending and investing money so that the barrier is low, very low. Like with the government, what the government says, what we say usually, okay, so this is mandatory by law for our public administration, like have fun with the technologies, just, you know, make your way out. So if you try to find technical documentation for SPID, it's not quite easy. You need to Google a little bit. Then after a while, you end up in this page, which is called Technical Regulation. You find a list of PDF documents. You say, okay, I will scroll down a little bit. I will find a PDF about SPID. And you find it, and then you open it. And the first page is like this. This is the first page of the Technical Regulation of SPID. So it's like, what is this, a contract? Is this, I mean, you don't understand. It's like citing laws, and this is the technical documentation that we, today, I'm part of the government, so we are providing this to developers to integrate SPID. This is the first page, right? So, I mean, you began your journey like this, you were happy to integrate SPID, and then, of course, you get up like this. I mean, I was like this the first day I tried to integrate SPID in my life, because I say, there's something, it's not working. It's simply not working, right? There's something missing here. Like, there is absolutely nothing to help developers, right? So basically, usually like big companies or, I don't know, in-house companies, they can, you know, they are used to this framework. They are used to be able to work with this kind of technical documents. So basically, big companies can probably adapt it, but we know that innovation is also, I mean, it's made in startups and in small companies. And this kind of startups and small companies are completely cut off from this world. Because, of course, they cannot like spend weeks or months trying to make a sense out of this, right? I won't cite names, but I was discussing with, for a technology, with the technical owners of the technology, and we were meeting developers, like coming from companies like e-commerce and stuff, and they were saying, but we don't have an API key to test this. How can we integrate this technology without an API key? And they said, like, And they said, whoa, of course, you can get the API key through the call center. Just open a ticket through the call center, like in 5 days, we will send you an email. So it was normal for them, this kind of answer, right? So, and then another effect of this playing field is that basically you remade everything from scratch, because like there is nothing to build upon. So whatever you do is basically like if you are like a small city and you need to build like a technology as a website using SPID, you basically do a contract to hire like a local company for doing the website, and they find nothing and they will rebuild everything from scratch and probably not release anything open source, and there is like no incentive to do this. But I'm not speaking of like economical incentive, but really they just want, you know, the contract to be closed and paid. So they're like, it's just the way it works. And there is zero open source culture. Like the culture of open source, in my opinion, is not about like, I made a website, I put it somewhere. This is not a culture. The culture is building open source and then having building blocks separated that you can reuse. It's not like I'm forcing administration to release open source code. We're solving nothing by forcing administration. We need to make an open source culture change where like building blocks are made open source, which you can build upon. So it's complicated, but we can try to fix this, right? What is the idea? The idea is to try, of course, to build a cultural change. And this cultural change begins with the website, which is developers community, Developers.italia, which we are opening today. So this is the address, Developers.italia.it. We always, one of the nice things is that we can get really nice domain names in the government. And so basically the idea is to really change the way that these technologies are being developed. So we are going to feature projects. We are not putting like a global list of 2,000 or 2 million open source repository here. We are going to focus only on a few main projects and to roll out one after other. I want to get to about 10 projects by the end of the year. But I want this project to be very well staffed and have a clear roadmap and really well developed in the open. So we are going to feature a lot of exciting projects. Another really nice project is this one, which is the Carta d'identità elettronica, CIE. This is really nice because it's a smart card with an NFC chip that every Italian will have in the pocket in a while. And the NFC chip is like an open protocol, an open API web service that you can talk to. So you can build a lot of amazing integration. If you think any kind of access control, like to the gym or the stadium, whatever, you can just, you know, swipe the NFC chip and every Italian is going to have one in the pocket, right? So it's really amazing. And again, there is no SDK, there is nothing now, but we are going to stuff this. And in the community, we're going to build upon this. So we want to put in this website, we want for every of this project, we are going to show what we are going to achieve. We are going to have a clear roadmap. We are going to see what we are missing, and we want to interact with the community and like grow SDK, grow examples, grow sandbox environments and whatnot. We are going to put all the source code on GitHub. Talking about vanity domain names, we got this one. Cool, right? We got this github.com/Italia on GitHub, which is nice. So we're going to put all the code here. We are using the MIT license by default, unless there are, you know, existing contracts, blah, 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 but we're going to use the MIT license by default. We have a forum in the community. We are using Discourse, which is an open source forum. I think you heard it already. This is forum.developers.italia.it. This is like you say, oh, whoa, a forum. Yeah. It's a place where you can discuss, like you have a problem with SPID, you talk with the guy that has the technical knowledge of SPID here, instead of try to send like a call center call or something like that. And then we are in the process, of course, rewriting the documentation in a different way. So this is what we are getting out of the PDF that I showed you before. So we are getting like, you know, documentation the way that developers are looking for. So rewriting it, we are using the Read the Docs open source platform for documentation, and we're building upon that. We are trying also to support and contribute these open source projects. But for instance, we are trying to, you know, make a contract with them so that they can help us building we are supporting, funding, you know, the open source project at the same time of using it. So for all these projects are going to be in the community, we want to have like a clear open source approach, a clear open governance approach. Like, I don't want things to be like a code dropped within like one day. Oh, we have this new SDK for C#. No, it's going to be a clear roadmap, like we are releasing this and this and this, and discussing with people that want to help. Like, do you want to like help with this? Can you help me test this? What do you need to integrate SPID? What problem did you have? We are going to solve it. And we are going to staff maintainers for this, which is very important, because we are not going to just, open and then say, okay, this is the website, go ahead. We are going to ignore this to do the next big announce. No, we are going to staff with maintainers. Okay, so we're going to select maintainers. I'm going to speak it in 2 minutes, because it's really important to execute the roadmap. Okay. And, yeah, exactly. So we are looking for maintainers for these projects. We need help, as we said, right? So we're looking also for maintainers that are going to work on these projects like full-time to build what is missing, okay? And we are looking for them both in the public sector. So like if you're working in the public sector, if you know somebody that's working with this technology in the public sector, let them know that they need to reach us if they want to, help us build this technology. But also the market, because we feel like also the market is a good place to find good competencies for this technology. And to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to invest in small companies and startups mainly. So there will be, we are preparing public tenders, because, it's public procurement, works through public tenders which are specifically tailored for small companies and startups with strong open source skills and competencies to help us build this technology. So I don't want, I know that in small companies and there is the kind of culture that we are looking for, and this is the kind of culture that we want to bring within the public administration. So we're going to invest in these companies, and we are trying to communicate these public tenders with the language or with channels that we hope that can reach also small companies to and they can apply for these tenders and win these tenders and work with us to build them. So if you work in a software house, like a software house with open source competencies, and you know what open governance is, you know what an MIT license is, please sign up in our newsletter, follow our Twitter channel, stay in touch, because we are looking for this kind of companies, okay, to hire to help us for building this technology. Okay, so let's try to hack everything together. Okay, thank you very much.